Welcome to I Have Issues, a comic book show where I don't want to do this. Seriously, I've spent the last 3 months looking at Iron Fist related material and I just don't want to do it anymore. The character is boring, the comics are sort of racist, and now we have the Netflix show which just sucks. Fun fact, I actually started watching this show last year, but got so tired of it that I gave up. It was actually one of the contributing factors to me doing this 3-month series. I wanted to make myself finish the show so I could actually see how it ended. So why was it so bad? How did Iron Fist get so wrong that it's gotten nothing but shit since the moment it came out? Well, I think there are a few reasons. First off, the casting upset a number of people. I mentioned before that the racist origins of Iron Fist don't really work in a modern setting, and a lot of people won't really tolerate a thing like that anymore. And they wanted to see someone who's actually of Asian descent take the role of the Asian culture-based character. And that would be a good thing. It addresses the racial origins of the character, and really the only people you'd be pissing off are the fans of the Iron Fist comics. Both of them. But see, there's still one big issue with that. The writing is still shit. Even with a different character, the writing wouldn't change and you'd still have a shit show. I don't know how Marvel made the premise of mystical kung fu ninja fights magical ninja death cult boring, but by God did they succeed. Danny Rand is just an annoying child, most of the supporting cast is almost entirely pointless, and the 3 major villains are so bland that I find it hard to care about them. But if I'm being honest, there were actually 3 things that I did like. First was early on in the show when Danny's put in the psychiatric hospital. Stories like that make me uncomfortable because they freak me the hell out. So I was invested because seeing a character go through something that genuinely scares a person is an easy way to get a viewer somewhat invested in your show. But that didn't last very long and it went back to being boring really quickly after that. Second was Colleen's story. Her issues with the Hand, her worldview being shaken, and trying to come to terms with all the lies coming from an organization that had pretty much defined her life for years was very good in my opinion. But that in and of itself is a problem because if the viewers are looking to the side characters because the main one is boring, then that is a pretty clear example of bad writing. Finally, I enjoyed a lot of the fight scenes. I've always been a fan of fights between martial artists, and since that's Iron Fist's whole thing, I did get some enjoyment there. Various styles of fighting were on display throughout the show, and it's interesting to see. Though that really didn't save the show from its other flaws, like the shitty villains. The show changes villains 3 times, starting with Madame Gao from the Daredevil series, and she's really the best of the 3. Though I attribute that to her already being established as a threat so we don't have to waste too much time setting up that villain. Then it switches to Colleen's sensei, Bokuto, who's only really interesting due to his relationship to Colleen. He comes and goes as a villain very quickly without a chance to really get invested in the character. And then there's Harold Meacham, who's a shitty person for the entire show, so his eventual reveal as the final villain wasn't so much a surprise as it was poorly executed and tacked on. So bad writing, boring leads, bad side characters, and shit villains, all based off a racist comic book from the 1970s, made for the shittiest production in the entirety of the MCU. It's kind of a shame really, because there are probably ways this premise could work if given a bit more thought. But what we ended up with really isn't worth watching. Really, that's all there is to it. Iron Fist as a character, comic or otherwise, feels like a joke, and I really wish they weren't already making a season 2, because I'm gonna have to watch that. Maybe I'll get a small laugh out of it, but I seriously doubt it. And that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for keeping up with this little mini-series that I've been doing. Hope you got a little bit of entertainment out of it, more so than you got out of Iron Fist at least. But now, I think it's time to take a break from Marvel. Next month, I'm going back to DC Comics to talk about the one comic book I hate almost as much as I hate Secret Empire. So come back next time when we talk about The Killing Joke. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have yourselves a fantastic day, and I will see you all next time.